A discussion on the progress in construction of the Nelum Pokuna Tower, the tallest communication tower in Sri Lanka, was held at Temple Trees today under the auspices of President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Official media said that progress achieved on the construction of the Nelum Pokuna Tower, which is being constructed on DR Vijayawardhanamawatha, and development projects in the area were extensively discussed. Construction on the foundation of the tower is currently underway using modern technology. Changes that will arise on DR Vijayawardhanamawatha as a result of these development projects were also discussed.
Meticulous planning and originality.
And now the BBC World Service reported today that Sri Lanka had denied a visa for the US State Department's Ambassador at Large for Global Women's Affairs, Catherine Russell, to visit the country.
That's right, Inoshi. However, rejecting reports of a visa denial, a senior official at the Ministry of External Affairs said that the ministry had only asked that the dates of travel to be amended.
US State Department's Ambassador at Large for Global Women's Affairs, Catherine Russell, is also the Chief of Staff to US Second Lady Jill Biden, the spouse of Vice President Joe Biden. Ambassador Russell, who is visiting South Asia between the 4th and 14th of February, was also scheduled to visit Sri Lanka. However, the BBC World Service reported that the US State Department had voiced its regret over the ambassador being refused a visa to visit Sri Lanka. Quoting a statement from a spokesperson for the US Embassy in Colombo, the BBC report said that the Ministry of External Affairs had informed the embassy that Ambassador Russell would not be granted a visa. The US Embassy in Colombo notes that Ambassador Russell's mandate is to promote stability, peace and development by empowering women politically, socially and economically around the world. However, the Ministry of External Affairs maintains that she was not denied a visa. A senior official at the ministry said that they had requested an amendment be made to the ambassador's travel dates, considering allocating time for her to meet with representatives here. A press release on the US State Department website yesterday notes that Ambassador Russell commenced her tour of South Asia yesterday. The statement notes that she will visit India, Pakistan and Nepal.
News First at 9.
Colombo. A kaleidoscope of colour and a cacophony of sound influenced by its colonial masters, the Portuguese, the Dutch and finally the British.
While many of us are familiar with the city in that we are aware of the routes to and from work, the city possesses many hidden treasures.
Tonight on the premiere of our 10-part series, News First Explores, we take you deep into the heart of our biggest city.
Our team commenced the initial stages of the expedition at its headquarters in Colombo. Phase 1 of the exploration was locating the historical sites of the Portuguese and the Dutch through maps used during that era. While scanning through the history of Colombo, we came across incredible facts about how the city got its unique name.
For those of us who live in Colombo, do we actually know how the name Colombo came up? Well, down this road, which was back then known as Commissioner Street, there existed a mango tree, a fruitless mango tree rather. So thereby was named as Kola Amba. By default, calling it Colombo. This street is now known as Chaitya Road.
Many historians have noted that this mango tree existed down Commissioner Street for generations. Rumours also persist that the name Colombo was derived from the word Kolong Tota, which was a river mouth of the Kolong River, a tributary of the larger Kalani River. News First explorers next focus their attention on the records of the first European colonists, the Portuguese, who were mesmerized by the beauty of the island they dubbed Sailavo. In 1505, a fleet of Portuguese caravels which were exploring the Indian Ocean near the Maldives made port on the idyllic southern coast of Sri Lanka. This was the Galle harbour, which was then surrounded by lush forest. However, realizing the fact that their goals could not be achieved from this part of the island, the Portuguese boarded their caravels once again and went in search of Colombo. On the second part of our expedition in search of Colombo's forgotten history, tomorrow we look at the history carved by Portuguese explorer Lorenzo de Almeida on a 20-ton stone.
And in business news tonight, the import levy imposed on a kilogram of dal has been reduced by 17 rupees.
The Ministry of Finance and Planning says that the tariff amendment will come into effect at midnight tonight.
According to the Ministry of Finance, the government previously imposed an import levy of 22 rupees per kilogram on dal. This levy has been reduced to 5 rupees per kilogram effective midnight today, and as such, the price of a kilogram of dal, which is currently being sold at between 140 and 170 rupees, is expected to decrease. The communique issued by the ministry notes that it will work to protect farmers and consumers through periodical changes to import levies on essential goods. Nevertheless, on Saturday, the price of a kilogram of milk powder, which is classified as an essential good, subject to government price controls, increased by 152 rupees.
A captured elephant calf was found in Mahawar today.
It is believed that someone was attempting to steal this calf.
Residents heard a distressed elephant calf in a wooded area in Ihalagama in Mahawar. They had decided to investigate. A herd of about 100 came, but we chased them away. However, yesterday we heard one elephant calling out and it sounded distressed. That particular elephant kept calling out till about 9 or 10 in the morning today. Our reporter in the area said that the residents who saw the bound calf alerted the wildlife authorities in Galgamua. The wildlife authorities said that when they arrived at the scene where the baby elephant was tied up, 2 individuals who are suspected of trying to capture the calf escaped.
We actually
thought an elephant may have fallen into a ditch, but when we got close, we saw that it was tied up. We saw the rope from afar. And then, when we were keeping watch, we heard 2 people shouting from inside the woods. I have informed the Director General of the Wildlife Authority. I have informed him before calling the vet in Anuradhapura and releasing the calf into the wild again. The whole herd of elephants is there in the woods now.
Let's now take a look at the newspaper cartoon of the day.
Newsfirst U reporter Sanat Fonseca filed this report on an accident that occurred in the Hokandar Junction today.
An accident occurred at the Hokandar Junction at around noon today. The accident occurred when a bus travelling towards Mala Bay from Kottawa collided with a cab. The cab was damaged extensively.
Newsfirst U reporter Sanat Fonseca, Hokandar City.
Technology giant Microsoft has announced that Satya Nadella will be its next chief executive.
Indian-born Nadella was previously Microsoft's head of cloud and enterprise, which builds and runs the firm's computing platforms and developer tools. He takes over from Steve Ballmer, who announced plans to step down last year. Company founder Bill Gates said, quote, "There is no better person to lead Microsoft," unquote. Gates is stepping down as chairman but will take up a new role as a technology advisor and will also retain a seat on Microsoft's board. Microsoft's lead independent director John Thompson will take over as chairman.
And on to sports news. Kumar Sangakkara, who put on a masterclass innings on day 2 of the second test against Bangladesh today, also succeeded in passing the 11,000 test run mark.
Sri Lanka, who took the first lease of the wicket today at Chittagong, were bowled out today after posting a mammoth total of 587. At stumps today, Bangladesh were on 86 for the loss of 1 wicket, trailing Sri Lanka by 501 in their first innings.
Kumar Sangakkara, ably supported by Ajanta Mendes, put on an 8-wicket partnership of 100 runs today. Mendes chipped in with a well-made 47. Sangakkara became the fastest cricketer to reach the 11,000 test run mark, having played 208 innings to get there. The record was previously held by legendary West Indian batsman Brian Lara, who reached the 11,000 test run mark in 213 innings.
The question, that's out. And again uses his feet. Into the stands.
The accolades did not stop there for Sangakkara today, as he scored 319 runs, his highest test score, and became the third Sri Lankan to score a triple century in test cricket, preceded by Sanath Jayasuriya and Mahela Jayawardena.
23rd in test cricket history.
Conquering hero, Kumar Sangakkara.
Shakib Al Hasan was the pick of the bowlers for Bangladesh, picking up 5 wickets for 148 runs. Bangladeshi opener Tamim Iqbal was bowled out for a duck this evening, shortly after Bangladesh took to the crease for their first innings.
Marvel to watch this master craftsman at work. It has delighted the crowd.
5-wicket haul for superlative innings from Kumar Sangakkara. Gets its first triple match 100
in this final session.
And that's a wrap of news at 9. It's a pleasure having you with us. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Minoshi Ratnasekara.
And I'm Ravi Gamage. We leave you with tomorrow's weather forecast. Good night.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.